What is up, everybody? Welcome here to Pop Culture Philosophers. Welcome to PCP Movie Night. It's the show where we talk about a movie every single week, Monday night, 8 p.m. Central Time. Tonight, we're talking about a Michael Mann crime classic. Some say it's one of the greatest crime thrillers of all time. Some say it's one of the best 90s films of all time. But tonight, we're talking about Heat, starring Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, and many more. And we also have an all-star panel to discuss this all-star cast in this all-star movie, Heat, including Jelani. What's up, homie? How you doing?
Station. Glad to be here. You know, the usual. Sorry I wasn't here for the Jurassic Park thing, but things happen, man. I'm glad to be here for the first one for me this year.
Heck yeah. First single movie release.
It's Heat.
2026. Yeah, man. Heat. Speaking of Heat, he brings it every single week. It's Brooks, live from Mordor. What's up, homie? How you doing?
What's up? Yeah, this is a movie I've been hearing, you've been mentioning this movie a lot lately, so it's kind of excited to see it because, it's one of those movies that you're always referring to, so and it's one I hadn't seen, so I'm like,
And first time watch for you, man. That's cool.
Yeah. And I love what I've seen of Michael Mann stuff. I really liked. I love Manhunter, so yeah, I was excited to see this one.
Pretty much a year ago this week, we talked about Thief, which was his first feature film. So very cool. Speaking of Thief, this motherfucker's a thief. It's Verno from Blood Splatter Chatter. What's up, homie?
What up? What's going on? I too, first time watch, man. I'm right there with you, Brooks. Movie I've always heard about, always meant to get around to. It only took 30 odd years, but we made it. I'm thrilled to be here, man.
Heck yeah, thrilled to have you here. This man brings the insight to ink and so many other things on his channel, Dr. Doom's Fan Club. It's our one and the only Stu from Dr. Doom's Fan Club. What's up, homie?
Station, fellas. What up? For me, the action is the juice. I'm so happy to be here. It's an honor, man. This is my 538th time watching this film, so I think I can quote it front to back. I think one of my absolute favorites of all time, if not my favorite film of all time. So I had to get on. Thank you for having me. Honored to be a part of the conversation.
Heck yeah, and go Bears, bro.
Yeah, bear down, brother.
Go Bears.
Yeah,
let's go.
Bears. The Bears. Speaking of bad references to old SNL skits, it's Joe Corallo. What's up, homie?
Hey, not to be a Debbie Downer, but it's a bad old SNL skit. I can't. I'm trying to wrap my head around being on a panel with multiple people who have never seen Heat before, who are of the right age to have seen Heat in their lifetime.
Yes.
Not a judgment call. I was not expecting it. I was expecting this to be just one of those things where everyone's of course we've seen Heat.
I thought I'd be the only one. I'm glad Brooks with me, man.
Oh, yeah.
No, Brooks is that's kind of I kind of expect it now, even if he's lying and just playing it straight the whole time. but yeah, wow. But no, I'm really looking forward to Brooks's It's All Right coming up. So
yeah. Well, I'm very excited to talk about this movie. I'm quite the fan of Michael Mann. Now, I didn't watch this movie when it first came out in theater. I was aware that it was out because it was a very big deal that Al Pacino and Robert De Niro were going to be in a movie together. But I worked at the movie theater when The Insider came out, right? And I had seen Heat. It was one of those video rentals, right? And we loved it. I loved it. I thought it was great. But when I watched The Insider, that was when I was really starting to pay attention to filmmakers and things like that. And that's when I realized this is from the same guy who did Heat. Oh, he also did Manhunter. And I started piecing together, man, I think I like Michael Mann. And then I started following his career, and he did movies like Ali and Public Enemies and things like that, and to varying degrees of success within my own personal opinion. But I am a fan of Michael Mann, and I became quite obsessed with this movie. I think it's a rather superb film. I love this new definitive director's edition. He kind of does some things with the color grading to give it this cooler, bluer, darker kind of shade to it. I kind of like that aesthetic. Some people kind of have a problem with it, but whatever. There's a 2007 Blu-ray or a DVD you can also get to. But I love the movie. I think it's anchored by those performances, the big ones, Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, obviously kind of hotshot the movie, but it's got so many other people in there, Tom Sizemore, Val Kilmer, John Voight. The list goes on. And it's such an incredible movie. Like, it's a long movie that doesn't feel long. I think it's absolutely superb. And I think it's over time, like what I did, I think there's something about the tone, right? I kind of became obsessed with this deliberate, measured kind of atmosphere of the film and the way it kind of soaks you in like a novel does in a way. And very strong performances that are wild at times, that are very subdued at times. I'm excited to talk about this film. I fucking love it. Delaney, what do you think about Heat overall?
I think this movie's got a big ass.
It's a great ass.
You got your head all the way up.
Biggest head, yes. I love this movie, man. I didn't watch it in the theaters either. I saw this. Actually, this was a Hollywood video rental for me when I first saw it. Cause like 95, I was in high school, but like I wasn't deep in the movies yet, like super deep like I am now. And this was a film that like blew me away. Like the action scene, this is one of the greatest action scenes ever filmed. I love it. I love that it's such a layered like bank robbery gone bad on multiple levels. Like the beginning is a bad bank robbery. Towards the end is a bad bank robbery. They all work together. I've never seen a film that did that. It's very slow paced, but it's there when it gets there, and it's still action. It's still awesome. It's Pacino, it's De Niro, and they're two sides of the same coin. And I heard that this was like actually a remake of a TV show that Michael Mann had done, and it was called like LA Takedown. And he filmed it, did that. It didn't do well, and then when he became famous, they were like, "What do you want to do?" And I was like, "Well, I want to do LA Takedown again." So they made this film, and it shows like a criminal side, and it shows the good guy side and their lives together, and it focuses on it so well. I like the dynamic between the two, at least the two main characters, but the side characters work well too. There's so much to this film that people don't really notice, and it's it's so good. It's so good, and all the times I've watched it, and this is probably this will be my fourth time watching. I think it is practically one of my favorite action movies. I'm surprised we haven't done this like sooner. I thought we did do this, but I guess we didn't, and I'm glad we're talking about it now.
Absolutely. Only so many weeks in the year, right? But definitely one I've been wanting to get to, that we've been wanting to get to for a while. I'm glad you mentioned the LA Takedown thing. So, of course, Michael Mann was the creator and executive producer of Miami Vice, right? And LA Takedown was supposed to be the successor to that. He had written it as a movie, cut that movie down into a television pilot, didn't get picked up, but it did get aired as a television movie. But it always stuck with him, and it's kind of based on some real events, real people. He was friends with this dude who eventually, I think, did, I can't remember the movie he did, but he became a writer in film and stuff. Yeah. And he actually had that kind of relationship with the real Neil McCauley, because Neil McCauley was a real dude in Chicago, and they actually had that meeting at like a diner or something like that. And it was and Michael Mann was fascinated with it. And I mean, it's the only thing he's ever tried to remake, and so for good reason, because I think it works. Brooks, you're a first timer to Michael Mann's Heat. I'm very curious what you thought about the movie overall.
I don't like it. I'm kidding, of course. I didn't want to like, play in the predictability. Joe's like trying to call my shots here, so I wanted to like big things up,
Yeah.
But
talk to him, bro.
Yeah, I loved it. It's like, Michael Mann seemed to have a thing about one word titles for his movies, though, doesn't he? Like, Heat, Manhunter,
Ali.
Thief.
Collateral.
Yeah, thank you,
Collateral.
Joe. I've been trying to think of that since we started. What the name of that movie was? Collateral. That's
Collateral.
we did that a year ago too.
Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
He's
did
the
Collateral.
bad guy.
We've done Manhunter before.
Mhm.
He also did Last of the Mohicans. That doesn't fit the one word title thing, but
Yeah.
there's
They can't all be
Yeah.
one word.
That was his blow up.
And it's an adaptation of another
Yeah.
story.
if we don't count he did The Keep and the Insider, so that kind of works. So
But it's a great movie. Like, it feels like the start feels a little bit slow, but like, it puts like vital information in there. It builds the characters up, and then like, that first hour and a half, and when shit pops off, it like pops off hard, man. Like, I love the way this movie is punctuated by these action moments, but like, most of it is just, kind of these story of these two guys, like, it's kind of this tragic tale of, these two guys who just circumstances have made them like enemies. And like, they kind of like, they have like this kind of weird respect for each other, I guess. And, it's sad because, they know that eventually it's like, when they see each other, that it's going to be like, one of them's not going to walk away. But yeah, like, it's a well-crafted movie. I think I could tell, like, this is really like a passion project for him, because like, it feels like, he really paid attention to a lot of details, and like, he really takes the time to like, to flesh out the characters. So yeah, it's not bad.
yeah, okay, not bad. I like that, Brooks. Verno, also a first timer. What did you think about Heat?
I thought it was brilliant, man. Stu was on the show with us last week, and you said you're right. You said you'd seen it a million times. One of your favorite movies, and it's got to be up there for me, honestly. I watched it twice this week. The reason why I never watched it. Here's my excuse. All right, you ready? Stu, I told you this last week. In my hometown, probably similar. You guys had a similar thing in your hometowns. On Friday, there was like $6 6 movies, and we rented Heat like 3 or 4 times probably over the years. And it was, when you got 6 movies, it's the one that's 2.5 hours long, and it always we'll get to that. Honestly, dude, I didn't even realize that it was a De Niro and Pacino movie. I always, in my mind, I mean, I guess they're on the fucking cover. I had to look last night. I'm like, are they on the cover? And they are. Both of them are. But in my mind, this was a Val Kilmer movie all these years. And I've been like, this 2.5 hour Val Kilmer movie. And then watching it, and it's like the ultimate De Niro Pacino movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's got to be, man, because Godfather 2, they're not even in it together. I had to look into it. I guess they've been in like 4 movies together or so, counting the newest one, The Irishman. I feel, in my mind, they've been in a bunch of them together, but evidently just a handful. But I don't know. I was blown away by it, dude. I really was. It's like, it reminds me of Manhunter in a lot of ways, obviously, with the procedural. But it's like that. This is what I was thinking, because the 2 freshest ones in my mind are Manhunter and Collateral. And it feels like that mainstream bridge between Manhunter. It's a little more mainstream, but it's still got some of that artsy, psychedelic like music going on in the background. And it's not as commercial as like what Collateral is. But to me, it's like, you said it, Robbie, like one of the best movies of the 90s. Like, definitely. Like, I'm like mad at I was about to say I'm mad at myself for not seeing it, but unlike you guys, I get to enjoy it for the rest of my life, and with not so many watches under my belt. I get to appreciate
all the fresh ones
in my later years. Like, I was really, honest, it's one of those after I've seen it, like, well, duh, of course I was blown away by it. Like, it really is, like, it's up there. It's like one of the best fucking movies I've ever seen in my life, especially like along the lines of what it is. Like an action, it feels like a gangster movie because it's got De Niro and Pacino. It's not really gangster. It's more of a heist cop thriller thing, but it's also like, it's got, like you said, Robbie, it's got this tone to it, like this chillness for being this like really, really intense action movie. It's chill. Somehow it does that balance, but it's unbelievable. I was like flat out blown away by it. And then just putting it on, I didn't know anything about the cast. I didn't know really, other than Val Kilmer. So like everybody is hitting me. Tom Sizemore, Danny Trejo, like everybody, all the side characters were like, oh shit, I know him. Tone Loc. The fuck is Henry Rollins? Tone Loc doing this movie? Why does Henry Rollins' head look so tall? Like, what is going on? No wonder he shaved his head.
Mullet, man.
But I was blown away, man. I'll thank Scarphead, my brother. He sent me the digital download for this a few years back, and I finally put it to you. So
Oh,
Thank
nice.
you, Scarphead.
Man, I'm glad you liked it. Stu, seems like you got quite the history with the film. Elaborate. What do you think?
Man, like both of y'all, I have, both you and Jelani have not seen it in theaters. It was one of those ones I discovered on DVD, but just fell in love with instantly, and have watched endlessly since then. Like, just I on the rewatch, it's 3 hours, but it's so brisk. It never let your attention wander for the slightest second. It's got so many things you can come back to and appreciate. You can, look for so many things in a scene, so many different performances. Like every single person, whether they're in this for a scene or 3 or 30, they fucking bring it. It's such a beautiful, I feel like one of those moments of like divine providence in art, where everything truly comes together in a beautiful way, from cinematography to writing to style. The way, like, De Niro and Pacino have kind of circled each other throughout film for all these years, and then like De Niro reading the script and giving it and calling up Pacino, knowing he would be the perfect Hannah, like the way that happened, and like the way it grew from Val Kilmer making this work with Batman going on and everything, just wanting to be and work with all these incredible folks, and where everybody was at their different career timelines. It's just such a beautiful phenomenon, and it's just a movie I can watch anytime. It doesn't matter if it's like a little bit of it, the whole thing. It's one of those movies I think, like, particularly our generation really fell in love with because it was just on like TNT and TBS.
Mm-hmm.
Like they could throw it on for the 4-hour blocks because it's just 3 hours, and just man, it was always there for us. So yeah, man, just so many memorable scenes, and like you guys said, from the opening robbery to like the drop gone bad at the old movie theater to like the LA, the downtown shootout, the way like not only it's influenced film since then, but like real life.
Mm-hmm.
Like the North Hollywood bank robbery in '97, where like dudes just blew it out with the police, killed all sorts of cops, went in there just heavy metal with it. Like it's just a film that's had a profound influence on culture, I feel like, the world over. So yeah, I don't know, man. It's just, I'm always here for a rewatch.
They actually use footage of the film in some military and police training, right?
Yeah, with Val.
Yeah, especially with Val reloading his gun. And those are actual guns they're using. It's the actual sound of those guns. Like somebody mentioned in the sound design in the chat. Metal Elf did, sound engineering. Yeah. And it's amazing because it doesn't sound like an action movie. It's very realistic. And that's something that the Michael Mann very much strove for, was a sense of realism within this ethereal, philosophical LA, right? In a way that's like so under the surface for me. I don't know. Joe, what do you think?
Hold on real quick. The sound of that, the truck hitting the armored car in that sequence is like bone rattling every single time I watch it. I love just having the volume up on that.
Yeah.
Man.
And also a huge influence on cinema. I mean, Christopher Nolan directly has referenced it being an influence on Dark Knight, even casting William Fichtner, or whatever, right? So
Fichtner.
So, yeah, what's is it? Fichtner, right? Isn't it something? I don't know. I always get the C in the end.
You got to do is bank your Robin from that whole bit. So.
He's the guy in Go who's trying to get him signed up to sell Amway. I love that scene. Joe, what do you think about Heat?
It's really great. I mean, I am personally, as an Italian American, I'm insulted that it was a non-Italian director that was the first to put De Niro and Pacino on screen together. But putting that aside, it's a really great movie. But yeah, it did, like, it's just one of those things, just changed everything. It was I mean, it's Michael Mann's defining movie. I think ultimately, like when they run his obituary in, hopefully far from now. I mean, I think he's 82, but still, I hope it's, in the far future when they run it. Like that's the movie that's going to be next to his name is Heat. Like without question. despite how incredible so many of his other movies, like Thief, like Manhunter, are. And that's saying something, because he's put out. You don't get a lot of directors who put out an incredible movie that could go right next to their name after it, but and put out something like Heat and then have all these others that you could choose from, but you're choosing Heat. It's one of those movies, like I think we talked about when we watched Thief, how you're watching it and you're like, maybe it's my favorite Michael Mann movie. And a testament to Michael Mann is there are multiple Michael Mann movies that I think immediately after you watch it, you go, I think that might be my favorite Michael Mann movie.
Yeah.
It's incredible. He is one of he's one of the best American directors to do it. It's crazy. I feel like film buffs are really big on Michael Mann, but like the general population, like Tarantino's broken through, some other directors like that have broken through, but like when you talk to someone who's not as much of a film buff, they might really like Heat as well, but they don't really know much else about Michael Mann. They don't like. It's interesting to me. Like I think there are people who would put Heat on a list of like best movies, but like Michael Mann hasn't broken through for them.
Yeah,
and I think ultimately that's like it's a real shame. I hope more people, if you came here to listen to us talk about Heat and you've never seen it before and you see it, or if Heat's the only movie of his you've seen, I do hope you go out there and check out some of his other movies, because at least half of his filmography is great, probably, right?
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
He's absolutely astonishing. And in pretty much all of his films, he has amazing actors that he's working with, including this one. There's a huge cast, so many parts, some little, some large, but they all have an impact. Jelani, what's a performance you want to highlight?
Yeah, I'm doing it. I'm taking Pacino. Sorry. He's the biggest. I'm so sorry. It's just, oh my God. That man is he's a monster within himself. It's just like I think he got this script and he was like, Do you mean I can scream all my lines? And Michael Mann was like, sure, yeah, go for it, dog. I mean,
they developed a subplot that he was on cocaine, but they cut it.
Yeah.
So, and that kind of, but he also, Michael Mann loved the juxtaposition of the criminal being the cool and collected one and the cop being the fucking crazy one talking about people's asses and shit.
Yeah. You're fucking around with me.
And everybody wonders why the Al Pacino impressions started in the 90s, like that caricature of Al Pacino.
Yeah.
It's like this Sin of a Woman. There was a period of movies.
Yeah.
It's this. He's every scene. He's amazing. Now the scene. Mel Elf mentions the Natalie Portman. The scene with Natalie Portman still gets me. Like him getting her out of the bathtub after she's like sliced her wrist and her thigh, and she's gonna kill herself. And it's powerful. It's so much in that scene, and he plays it with such gravitas. Like he knows what he's doing, and he's still like, this is after this major gun battle, like this crazy scene where he's like he had to take out Tom Sizemore. It's just it's so weird to have that and then come home to that, and it's such a horrible thing to do. I loved all of his scenes. Everything he did in this movie was just fantastic. This is my favorite Al Pacino performance, and I've seen all the Godfathers. And that, for me, that's saying a lot, but it's still, this is my favorite Al Pacino. He's unhinged. We got made. Look, take a picture. He's all over the place, man. He's all over the place, and I love it. He's out there, and he deserves to be out there. Like, I don't even know why his wife really like separated from him, because he's like, of course he's. I think about dead bodies all the time, and she's trying to like deal with his life because his pager keeps going off because murder, and I don't understand why she doesn't understand that for him. I don't know. I mean, this is his job. You married a cop.
Yeah. It's one thing to say, yeah, I'll accept that, and then another thing to live through it, right?
To live through it.
This guy he's emotionally detached, right?
Yeah.
That's what I love is both characters are so obsessed
the same thing.
with what they do, right? Like to the point of the exclusion of everything else. By the way, do you know the dude that she's cheating on him with is fucking Helen's husband from Candyman? That douchebag. And John Connor's foster dad in T2.
Yeah.
He's the guy that is the catalyst, the one that shoots in the bank robbery. The guy that's in the bank robbery, the first one. The guy he's supposed in LA Takedown, he's that guy. He's that
really?
Kid. Yeah.
Wayne Grill, right?
Yeah. So they bring him back for just that scene of him. You're not gonna watch my TV. It's just, oh man, I love Pacino.
Oh yeah. Somebody had to take Pacino. I'm glad it was you, Delaney, because you nailed it with the impression. So I really like that. Brooks, what about you? What's a performance you want to highlight?
Well, like he wasn't a big part of the movie, but I think his kind of story arc was very important. I can't remember his name. I always think of him as the Allstate guy.
Is that David Hayter? Is that his name? Or
he played the president in 24 too, I think.
Yeah. He's the president in 24. Yes.
Yeah, but he's great in this movie. Like he has a very kind of, it was like the story is about these kind of two titans on either side. You got Pacino as the cop, and you got De Niro over here as the criminal. And this guy, he's kind of just like a regular guy who gets swept up into it. Like he just feels like he's gotten out, but then he gets to doing like the daily grind. And the daily grind just like grinds him down so much that he's just like, when it comes time for when De Niro comes up to him to offer him, a quick job for a lot of money, like, he thinks about it a little bit, but, he hops back in because, that daily grind, it's tough, man. And like, that's part of his tragedy is like, he dies, he's just the driver. He's just a guy like he's brought in at the last minute. He wasn't even supposed to be a part of the robbery, but he gets lured in, and it's like that's like a lot of the like scenes of like these shootouts. It's like, god damn, there's got to be like some people catching some strays in these fucking firefights that these guys are doing, like in the middle of the fucking city. These are just shooting off automatic weapons everywhere, fucking shotguns. It's like crazy, and he's just another sad casualty. That's what happens, though. The working man always pays the highest price, it seems.
Yeah, he's really great in the film, man. That whole story with him and his wife or girlfriend.
Oh, and yeah, when she comes into the bar after like he's asking, oh man,
that strikes at the core of the film, man. And it not only is the grind of work, but it's like the fact that nobody wants an ex-con to go straight. Like you don't make it easy for him, right? The dude's like taking 25% of his wages, and apparently that's how it works out. Like they make deals with these parole officers and shit like that, right? Like you're gonna get a kickback, you're gonna get this, and it's a system that doesn't help people when they get out, for sure, is what I hear, especially in this film. Verna, what about you? What's a performance for you to highlight?
You're muted, bro.
We weren't going to tell him.
Hey, thanks, brother. I was gonna say the best thing about the Allstate guy's performance is that he made me forget that he was the Allstate guy. Like instantly, I'm like, oh, that's distracting. It's the guy from the Allstate commercials. And what is it? Is it Major League?
Yes. He prays to, what is it, Jumba or something like that?
Yeah, I don't remember, but I loved it when I was a kid. I know that. I used to do that movement a lot. But oh man, it's really hard to pick. I could obviously go De Niro, but I'm gonna pick a weird one because I really appreciated him. What's his name? McKelty Williamson. Is he Bubba fucking Gump? He's
Yeah.
Bubba from Forrest Gump. Dude,
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna pick it. There's certain
detective.
he doesn't seem like an actor in the movie. He's so believable in that
Yeah.
role. He's not yelling and screaming and doing anything crazy. You just totally believe that this guy is a cop that works with Al Pacino. And like, I don't know, I just really actually like I kind of keyed in on it the second watch through, and I just really appreciated his performance. But and also, well, never mind. I'll save it. I wasn't gonna pick the guy that Pacino. What is it? Well, how would I describe the black guy that he goes to and where he's giving all the crazy lines at first? He's like, but just because he was the one that sat there and was able to get through that scene with De Niro or Pacino. Like that, he does so many crazy things in that moment. It just
What do I got?
What
do I
got? Been crazy. I feel comfortable that nobody was going to pick him, so I could mention him as well. But it was so many.
He was like a stand-up comedian or something. I don't remember his name though, but
I got him right here. Ricky Harris is the actor.
Ricky Harris, yeah.
Known
for the sitcom Everybody Hates Chris.
Yeah.
Look at that. What about you, Stu? What's one you want to highlight?
Oh man, since nobody's picked him yet, I got to go Val. Val for me is like this movie. I mean, I know it's De Niro and Pacino's like chance to shine, and kind of this tale is those two revolving around each other. But like Val from the jump, dude, just like the most technically proficient out of the group. He's De Niro's right hand man. I love like anytime De Niro's on the phone, Val's right there standing next to him. You know what I mean? Like I just love. And I love the relationship they have. How De Niro generally cares for him. He crashes at his place. Man, that line for me, the sun rises and sets with her. I just and then like I love how he's got his back at the stakeout at the drive-through and shit like that. He rolls out and he's like sniping dudes and shit like that. And he's just a bad motherfucker in that downtown shootout, dude. Like was stacking up bodies right and left. He was a menace. So I don't think they get out of that without Val on the sticks there, man. That was impressive. And then like the scene that always breaks me. I fucking cried again today watching it. Him going to Charlene, getting out there at that pickup gang, like looking up at her. It's just like some of the best acting that I think he's ever done. That one scene is just so beautiful to me. Then like him driving back the way, man drenches it in that blue noirish thing, and you just see him through the windshield, but he's just broken. Like I don't know, man. His story, like how De Niro looked out for him, and he was like the only one that got out, is beautiful, but also tragic at the same time because he just lost everything. So his performance to me every time I see it. Just all the little things. Yeah, man. Val. Gotta go Val.
And as you mentioned earlier, he was filming this while he was filming Batman Forever.
Yeah.
And because at first they thought it might have a scheduling conflict, they had cast Keanu Reeves as a backup for the role. But it turned out Val was able to accommodate the schedule along with Batman Forever. He was huge at this moment, man. This was like like a few year period where like he was like one of the hottest dudes. He was Batman. He was in this. That's why he's on the cover and stuff. He's actually, if you think about it, he's a very minor character in the movie, but he gets that third billing. He gets put on the poster because they were pushing him. They pushed him on that Saint movie and all that shit. And the Island of Dr. Moreau movie he did with Marlon Brando. That's something. We should cover that one day.
What about you? Really should.
What about you, Joe? What's a performance to highlight?
I'm gonna go Justine. I think I get what you were saying. You're joking around, Jelani, but like I don't think Al Pacino's character works if you have this like soon-to-be ex-wife who's like trying to match his energy. I don't think it works if they're just yelling at each other. Like it's so much more devastating that she plays it as like, I'm done. Like that choice doing it that way not only is just a good choice for a character, is different from what we typically see in these movies, that makes this particular movie stand out. It enhances Pacino's performance. And, you know, there's nothing she does that takes away from it, and you get it. So for me, like, her performance, and she's in like a handful of really important scenes that sell Pacino to the audience that work because of that. And, you know, and I guess while I'm at it, I'll also just throw in Natalie Portman, who I wasn't sure, because every time I see Natalie Portman, I'm just like, are you an angel? But, you know,
You're not wrong.
yeah, it's, but no, again, like, really enhanced Pacino's performance. Like, she did a great job in the handful of scenes she's in with Pacino.
That
and-
bathtub scene, man, bruh.
Yeah, no, I mean,
it's man.
it's an all-time, like, just favorite kind of scene. Like, it's like, just in terms of, like, it's executed so well. Pacino plays it fucking perfectly.
Brilliant.
Just, it's the way it's shot, and all of everything about it. It's intense, but it's subtle, and like, it all just comes together. So yeah, I think those two, they let Al Pacino go nuts. Like, I think if they were weaker actresses, he couldn't have played it as hard, because it wouldn't have worked. So.
Yeah. No, that makes sense, man. Good points. Robert De Niro is still lingering around out there. Obviously, he's great in the movie. Ashley Judd as Charlene, I really like, especially because I really kind of have a crush on this era Ashley Judd. Like I really, really do. Kevin Gage as Waingro is sleazy and skeevy, and you can't wait for that guy to die, even though you know that Neil is making the wrong decision at the end to go after him instead of just getting away. You still want it to happen because you want to see that dude get got. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, how great is that, watching like that manifest on his face in the car?
Oh, yeah.
After he gets off the phone, like, just watching it grow on.
That's like my favorite acting bit of the movie, that he goes through that little emotion. That's what he's so good at, is you can see everything he's thinking really, really well. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, but the biggest one I want to highlight is Tom Sizemore as Sharito. Like, he is so good. There's a moment when they're in the diner, and it's right before they try to kill Waingro, and De Niro like slams his head on the table or whatever, and that dude's like looking. Tom Sizemore just gives that guy a look, and dude, I wanted to fucking turn away. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't even on there, and I know it's a movie, but it was like this: I will kill you. Like, I liked him. He's memorable in the movie with so little, and also John Voight growing that hair out.
Yeah, he's got a look. John Voight.
And
Danny Trejo, when he's like dying there, he looks insane. That's like one of the best, like, death, like, on your deathbed.
Yeah, and Hank Azaria is in it too. You know, like, I mean, like, they're out, like Mo from Moe's Tavern.
Yeah.
You know, why did I even get myself involved in this? Because she's got a great ass, right, Delaney?
Great ass.
All right, let's talk about style and structure. I think this movie is stylistic as hell, man. It's got that cool blue tone of lighting. LA is portrayed as a character. It's got this melancholic kind of sense about it. It's neo-noir, of course, and it's presented with this like grand cinematic scale, right? It's deliberate in its tone. It's got realism within a Shakespearean tragedy kind of structure type thing. I think it's masterful with its pacing. I know it's like 2 hours and 50 minutes, but to me, that runtime flies by, just flies by. And it does it with intentional editing and a balance between that action and that drama. It's realistic, yet it's still got some entertaining dialogue as well. It keeps the pace pushing forward. I think it's a beautiful film that moves. What about you, Jelani? What do you think about the style and structure?
It's gorgeous, man. It's by far, like, it is a cinematic achievement to make something look this good. I mean, Michael Mann has done that he did it with Collateral. He makes the city a part of you, like you said before. It is a character in this. That bank robbery gone wrong. That's one of the best action scenes. Like I will not stop talking about how badass that thing is. I've never seen a clean shot. Like we were talking about the sound design of it. Apparently, yeah, they were using the sound and of the real gun going off. It felt realistic. It feels like you're there. Like this is how a shootout would go, and it's tense. It makes you. It's claustrophobic in such a wide space. Like I wouldn't want to be a cop trying to like shoot at these robbers, or even be in the robber's position to where you're surrounded and you're still able to get shots in. You know, and it's wild, man. I've never seen anything like it. I don't think I ever will again because a lot of things. I think in the comments someone said the Winter Soldier's kind of like that. It is, and it isn't. I don't know. It feels. This feels like this could never be repeated for real. I can never really repeat this. And Michael Mann did such a brilliant job with it. The city scene with Edie and De Niro when they're on the scope. Now I don't know if that's a matte painting or what it was behind them.
It is. They're on a blue screen, but it's a real shot, right? And they were actually on location, but they couldn't get them lit properly in the location they were at. They filmed the background and then they had to film it on set. It's the only bit that really sticks out, right?
It looks. I mean, it's a sore thumb. That's. I'm trying to do the best and the kind of not the worst ish, but at the same time, it still feels like they. The scene itself, it doesn't take away from the fact that the background's fake. It just feels. It feels like a natural scene. I like the chemistry between Amy Brennan and De Niro in that scene, and how they hook up the way they do. You know, it's just question after question after question, and then they're outside, and the way that transition of shot, bruh, I love it. I absolutely love it. And there's just scenes like this. There's scene after scene in this movie where you get stuff like that. Yeah, we go back to the Johnny Trejo death scene. That's amazing. It's shut. Don't leave me here like this. Don't, you know. I just, oh man, it hurts. And there's too much going on. And at the same time, it's played so well. It's just so cool, so collected, so brilliant. And that's how this film feels to me. It's 3 hours, but I don't care. Yeah. And I've never seen, there are movies that do that, like Lord of the Rings. That make it breeze by and it doesn't feel like it's terrible. I watched this effortlessly without going to sleep or looking at my phone. So I feel proud of myself.
You should, man. You should be proud of yourself, bro.
Yeah.
It's a great film, man. And if anybody's ever been hesitant to watch the film because of its length, trust me. It just, you know, I mean, I don't know. Like
Stu,
it
evaporates. I agree. It evaporated. Yeah. I kept thinking,
just watch the first like 15 minutes, and from there you're good.
Yeah, I love it. You know, I've watched movies that are 100 minutes that feel longer than this one.
Yeah, definitely, dude.
Including very recently, I watched this 1986 movie called Future Hunters. Wow, y'all should watch that one. We should do a PCP movie night or something, man. It's
Future.
It's got Robert Patrick in it. It's I really got to make y'all watch it too. Brooks, what about you? What do you think about the style and structure of Heat?
Well, like it does have that, you know, Michael Mann style to it, which is good because, you know, I think he's like, at least from what I've seen so far, like, you know, Michael Mann is a very good filmmaker. And like I like the way this movie, like, you know, it does have a lot of threads that it ties together. Like, you know, there's of course the main two, you know, it's De Niro, Pacino. They're the main like driving forces, you know, they're the main conflict. But, you know, there's all these other little, you know, other little story threads in there as well that kind of like emphasize, you know, how their conflict like ripples out and affects, you know, all these other characters, you know, like Val Kilmer's character, you know, he feels like, you know, he's a guy. He was probably like, ex-military or ex-cop or something like that. And, he's kind of a thrill junkie, it seems like. He's kind of like a gambler. And, and De Niro's like, basically just using him. But, at the same time, Kilmer's like, he wants to do that thing, like De Niro's not like twisting anybody's arm. But, like I said, President Palmer, just out of jail, just struggling to get by. The girlfriend, like De Niro, like, he finds him a hot lady he wants to get with, but he like that fucks up
30 seconds.
Yeah, there's just like, so many, like, there's so many characters in this movie, and a lot of them just kind of come and go, but a lot of them do, have like, important parts to play in the story as well, because it's like what happens to them is like a reflection of, kind of the reverberations from like the main conflict between Pacino and De Niro. And, Pacino and De Niro also like awesome, both of their roles, like, they do feel kind of like almost two sides of the same coin at times, which is kind of like a common thing with these kind of cops and robbers movie. You got the criminal genius and then you got the detective genius. And, sometimes, like for me at least, like, cops and robbers type stories, they can be pretty dull. They can feel pretty dull and pretty, because it's been done so many times. But I think Heat like does it so well, like, that it's kind of, it feels like a standard, for what a good cops and robbers type movie should be.
Hell yeah. I love that, man. What about you, Verno? What do you think about the style and structure of Heat?
Part of it is, I was thinking the same thing, where they're Pacino and De Niro, two sides of the same coin. And it's like, I'm always thrown off in a movie sometimes like this, where it's like, who's the main character? I don't like when there's not a clear-cut main character. And I can't think of two, I'm sure there are ones, but I can't think of too many movies that are like this, where like there are two main characters. It's 50-50. And they've got like they're juxtaposed to each other, and the whole thing is them leading to each other. And one of my favorite things about the structure, what really caught me off guard, is when they meet. Like, to me, everything kind of flips there. It even flips before that, when Pacino finds out that De Niro is spying on him. I love that moment. He's looking at us. It's such a cool ass moment. And like it's like the story's combining. But it's like you said, right? It's super fucking quickly paced. I kept on like pausing after each badass scene. I was like, damn, like they're 20 minutes in and they're killing it so far. They're 50 minutes in and they have not, like, there's nothing that is dull that like ever happens throughout this whole movie. And then it's so smooth right to the end. And also there's these three relationships that are going on. And there are all these three deteriorating relationships, for De Niro's isn't. But then it's all the heist stuff just in between them. And the balance of that, I think, is like perfect. There's just enough heist stuff to keep it going. Really, they've minimized all the character stuff enough to keep that interesting and to highlight all the cool shit. But what was I gonna say? Oh, the hockey mask. That was one thing I wanted to say about looked cool. I wish they would have brought that back. The hockey mask, man. Like, I wish that would have been a reoccurring thing. That would have been their look every time they went on, because that right off the way, I'm like, damn. Why?
Yeah, but if they had a consistent look like that,
right,
then
right,
they could be pegged. Right?
That's a fair point. Another just shot that I wanted to point out that I loved. It's not even like complicated. It's just so fucking cool. The moment where there's the stakeout going on, and the one cop sits down, and De Niro, he looks at it, the way that shot.
Oh my god!
Where even before that, when De Niro comes out and he walks off into the shadow, and that's like in the camera. Yeah. But then we're in the van, and on the two screens we see him just fade into the blackness on that, and then the other screen next to it where it's like heat temperature reading or whatever, and you see De Niro in that form. It was just such a cool ass, like,
it was just great to see the dude. They were so professional at work too. I love like watching Torito like hop up the pole, and then like Pacino was in the truck. He was like technique or something like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. And dude, like when De Niro disappears into that shadow, it just feels like
I almost wish we'd seen him like a little bit more functioning as a team. And maybe a little less character stuff, just because it's so cool. It's like the best parts of the movie. But maybe they didn't want to overdo it. But it's great, man.
I mean, honestly, they could have added 10 more minutes and I would have been happy with that. You know, like, I mean, honestly, I love what you mentioned about him. Like one of the first times, that's the first time he really lays eyes on him, right? Is when he does that going into the shadow thing, right?
Mhm.
And at the end, it's because gets exposed by the light.
Yeah.
Is why Pacino's able to shoot him.
That's
right?
another great shot. That
Yep.
could have been lame.
That's a great shot,
Just
yeah.
like just some people hiding behind some little buildings. It could have been so lame, but someone like Michael Mann really pulled that last scene
Dude,
off.
they made that work. And dude, when they were, I think around the time they were about to film that, the Unabomber was threatening to blow up LAX. So it like kind of fucked with their schedule a little bit. Talk about a time and a place, man. I also love this shot. I love the shot where De Niro's in his house that has like nothing there, to the point that Val Kilmer's like sleeping on the fucking floor, you know? But when he's just sitting there, there's like nothing there. He's looking out the window. It's all blue. It's like based on a painting, right?
Yeah.
But it's so beautiful. So beautiful.
Oh, 0 sets, man. 0 sets. This was all shot on location. That's why you threw me off when you said that blue screen, but they did that on set with the blue screen? Or not on set, but on location.
They had to film that one on the blue screen because they filmed it on location, but they just could not get the lighting right. It just didn't, the lighting on the characters. Yeah. That's the one thing. He mentions it in the commentary.
That's got to be super rare now, especially now. But no one does that. No sense.
Yeah. But the fact you could tell, though, that it sticks out kind of like a sore thumb, but it doesn't hurt the performance.
Yeah, but you can tell for sure.
Yeah.
What about you, Stu? What do you think about the style and structure?
Man, style is just like so many works by man. It's just such a love letter to LA, right? Like just from all the, like we were talking about, just all the locations they chose to shoot at, the diner to the chop shop to the big industrial yard, to downtown. It was just, I just love how like this, movies like Collateral, like how much of an essential character the city is in his films. And stylistically, I think it just comes off in the coolest ways. Like the way he used, I love the drive-in scene, man, with the drop-off gone bad, and the way like he used that with the cars going up and down on the humps, just like the way he incorporated that into the shots and the action was just brilliant. But I mean, structure-wise, to get this movie to kind of be about De Niro and Pacino playing these characters who are really the same but different, and just kind of inevitably drawn to each other to this conflict that's going to happen one way or the other. It's just like every movie lover's dream. It's just, it doesn't get any better than this, and it delivers on so many levels, man. I just love how, I love the coffee house scene. I love how things are just the way they ratchet up the tension in the third act. Like it's we get that coffee house scene, and we think things are kind of like warm and chummy for them. He gets back, they've lost the tail completely. Everybody's gone to ground, everybody's off the grid. I just had coffee with Macaulay a half hour ago. It's just brilliant, dude. And I just love that final act of like the way they parallel these guys out at dinner with their loved ones, both like the cops and the crew. It's just brilliant, within the same night. I love how they're watching them all come out at dinner and making them, and it's just like it feels so real and authentic and lived in. And it's just so beautifully written. And I love how Mann took these guys to like Folsom and had them spend time with real cats to really get that. And I think that really comes across, like you said, Robbie, with Sizemore particularly. Sizemore feels like fast and loose and like just one of those guys that felt like so real. So it's just that blend of like Mann's LA style and like the realism, and just having two actors who are the best in their generation like finally come together on this collision course, and a story where they're kind of drawn to each other inevitably is just you can't ask for anything better.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You're right. Like on a collision course, and like what you were saying, Verna, when they meet, then the movie just explodes, man. Like all this deliberate character work and set up all the pieces in place, and then when the movie just kicks off, it never lets up, man. And it just keeps it up, whether it's intensity in the action or intensity within the emotion of the characters. What about you, Joe? What do you think about the style and structure?
You know, a lot of great points have already been made. I'm going to kind of tie a couple of things sort of from what Werner and Stu were just saying. You have to put yourself at the time it came out, you know, like 95, De Niro, Pacino, first time in a movie like that together. Very deliberately structured to keep, you don't do them together in a movie and put them together right away. Like this movie is designed to tease that out. Like you are sitting in the movie theater. It is 1995. You went there with that intention. And that movie, the movie is very aware that the audience is there with that in mind and waits until like basically the end of the second act, beginning of the third act, to have that coffee scene. Like that movie takes you well in, like, what was it? It's like an hour 40 in or something crazy like that before they even meet. Like, that's all very deliberate. Like, there's no way they put them in this movie together where it like, well, let's see how the movie comes together. It's like, no, that's you know, and that's crazy. It's bold. Imagine putting out a movie that's almost 3 hours and being like, you're seeing it for this thing that we're not actually going to get to till like well over halfway to the movie. Like, that's nuts. And it works so well. It's a movie like Michael Mann does this, but like I feel like he's one of the few American directors who understands that like real balance of like, yeah, I want to do something that is important, that's like saying something, but I also want to give the audience something. And he understands the audience, and you never feel like he's sacrificing, you know, certainly in this movie, it never feels like he's sacrificing the art for, you know, a cheap pop from the audience or something like that. Like, he manages to do both. He manages to be like, I'm doing what I want artistically, and I'm also giving audiences what they want. I'm giving the, you know, popcorn movie audience what they want with this movie. And you just don't get that. You don't get that from, you know, an auteur director on a Marvel movie. You know what I mean? Like, you don't get that shit. It doesn't happen. You might get scenes that are like that in some of those, but overall there's a certain directive. That it never feels the case this way. It feels like he's in touch with the audience in a way that a lot of other directors aren't, and it comes through in the style and structure here.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with pretty much everything everybody's saying. I think we like this film, but it's also got some music in it. The score is done by Elliot Goldenthal. Here are some bits of his filmography: Drugstore Cowboy, Pet Cemetery, Alien 3, The Beloved, Demolition Man, Interview with the Vampire, Cobb, Batman Forever. So that's interesting that him and Val Kilmer were working on both of these films. He did A Time to Kill. He did Batman and Robin, Sphere. Wow. He did Frida. He did SWAT, Across the Universe, and he worked again with Michael Mann on Public Enemies. I love the music in the film. He uses this multiple guitar setup that he called a guitar orchestra, right? So a lot of what you hear is a guitar, even if it doesn't necessarily sound like it. But I think it's got this ambient kind of quality to it that perfectly captures some of the themes and the tone and atmosphere of the film, but then it ramps it up and is able to also kind of portray the intensity of the action. And then Michael Mann likes to use, you know, popular music and contemporary music. And in here he uses Moby. He does like to use Moby a lot. At the end, he uses Moby's song, God Moving Over the Face of the Waters. Is that like piano and string thing? It's really beautiful and it works. But he wanted to use Joy Division's New Dawn Fades for that car scene where Al Pacino is trying to catch up to him and he pulls him over, right? And that's before they go meet for coffee. But he needed it to have a little bit more of a quality. So he is the reason why Moby did a cover of New Dawn Fades. He commissioned Moby to do that.
Shit is fire too.
And
That's
it
so
is
good.
brilliant. It's so good, man. So good. I love
It's
the
a
music in the
perfect
film.
match for that
It becomes a character. It adds to the ambiance of the city and the internal struggles of our characters, and of course the external conflict. What about you, Jelani? What do you think about the music?
Yeah, I agree, man. No notes. It's amazing that car chase music scene. I love that. I love that music. I don't know why it is. I didn't know that was a lot of Moby. No clue.
Yeah.
But it's heavy in this movie, and I'm sorry, no notes. I'm good.
Hell yeah.
That was
It's funny because I remember Moby released an album called I Like to Score, and it was a lot of the stuff that he had done for film scores, including his James Bond remix theme and stuff. But when you look at it, I'm like, man, most of these songs are from Michael Mann films, man. What the hell? Brooks, what do you think about the music in the film?
I loved it. Like, it was definitely a soundtrack I enjoyed a lot. I don't feel like it, like, it was it's subtle, but at the same time, you can feel it, it was good at punctuating scenes, it's just like, it's just a good score, I mean, I don't know what else to say. It's one of my favorite parts of the movie, honestly. Like, I really dug the scoring on this one.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Vern, what are you thinking?
Right there with you guys, man. It was fire. It was very noticeable. The first time I watched it with headphones on, and ambient. It was a great word to use, Robbie. I really noticed it the first time, and the second time I just watched it on the TV with it lower because my wife was sleeping behind me, and it was funny how little I noticed it because it is so low in the mix. So and like you said, Brooks, you nailed it. You feel it even when you're not really hearing it. I thought one thing, and it varies a lot. It is not all of this, but it felt like a more sophisticated Lethal Weapon. You know what I mean? That guitar that you get in Lethal Weapon, and you can say that about a lot of things about this movie. It's a more sophisticated of all those 80s, 90s action movies. But it was great. It was, Michael Mann. That's one of the things I've noticed that he does really, really well. This was up there with what is it, Tangerine Dream that does Manhunter? Yeah, it was like similar to that too, with the vibe, but really sounded different at the same time.
It was.
They did. Tangerine Dream did Thief as well. Did they do? Did they do Manhunter? I don't remember.
No, they definitely did Manhunter.
Okay, yeah, I think if I remember right, they did Thief as well. I believe, right?
That's awesome.
Pretty sure. And
I haven't seen that either.
Yeah, really? You should watch Thief, man. We covered it last year. It was my first time watching it. It's great. Yeah,
and it's like really like a cousin to this, right? It's like definitely really, yeah.
It's kind of like Scorsese's Mean Streets to Goodfellas.
Really?
Right? It's kind of
like
awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It would have been dope if James Caan showed up in Heat, like in some auxiliary like role. That would have been fun.
Hell yeah. What do you think about the music, Stu?
Yeah, incredible. You guys said it all already. I just want to shout out. I definitely want to shout out the Moby and the Vincent in the car chase scene, catching up to him. The sound design, right? Like from the gunshots downtown to the like I was saying earlier, the trucker running through the armored car, dude. The sound design was just explosive and different, and I love the way the gunshots in this movie throughout just sounded so real and harrowing. And then my other favorite little music moment was just during the bank robbery. That dun, 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 like that little backbeat music thing that was going through it the whole time just kept up that tension just so perfectly. It was just it was brilliant. But it was I thought it was a great job of bringing in those real life, like real world elements with the sound design and like all those crazy sound effects, and then also like bringing in the score at certain times too. Like it was a great balance. Anyway.
Dude, let me just say, because you reminded me, and there's not another segment where this would fit into, but the one thing in the bank robbery that I love so much is when De Niro is like, if anyone feels sick or has heart trouble, you feel free to lean against the wall. There was something about that line that tells that these guys are professionals. They've done this a bunch of times. There was a bunch of things like that that's like gave you little clues without laying it onto you that they've done this a lot of times.
Absolutely, dude.
Yeah,
There's
little
a great
actions. Well, yeah, little actions like that, like dialogue, like using certain slang that only, but they don't explain it. It's not like Ocean's 11 where they have to explain what every single thing is. Which I love Ocean's 11, but like there's a difference between the stuff, right?
If you like, the Michael Mann talks about it in the commentary, like that first scene when De Niro's walking through the hospital. If you notice, he doesn't put his hands or fingerprints on anything. Like everything, like when he touches the button, he like hits it with his elbow. Like everything's got a purpose behind it, man. It's just so brilliant that way.
Yeah. Joe, you got any notes on the music?
No, one thing specifically with the sound design for the bank heist gone wrong towards the end. There's that whole story where it was originally done like a normal shit, like they did all the normal sound designing, and then Michael Mann went and checked it out and was just like, wait, what's going on? Like there was all the, like, it sounded like cannons were going off when we were filming it, and they were like, oh well, we're designing it like how you do a movie shootout. And he was like, no, stop. So like it's in a way the lack of sound design that makes this movie work,
absolutely,
which is so funny. So
didn't they like use the gunshots that they did on scene rather
it was like the actual production recordings because like of the way it echoed throughout downtown.
Yeah.
It's such a popular scene. Like it's been like nitpicked for years, and how beautiful that sound is.
It gave me anxiety, to be perfectly fucking frank with you, the first time I watched it. I'm not even joking at all. I was a little too high. I had to take the headphones off for a minute.
Dude, it gets heavy down there when they're like when they get down there and Homeboy gets shot out and they're trying to like move out through those streets. Man, it gets super heavy.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I gotta watch that again.
Movie's fucking
I want to go watch it again.
It is.
Can we just redo it again? Instead of doing another Michael Mann movie next year, we'll just do Heat again.
I'll do it for Horror Fest. Fuck it.
What's really interesting is that Michael Mann owns Heat. Like he actually owns the story. So he had like final cut. That's why the movie's long. Like that's why he didn't have to fight with the studio, right? Of course, he had just come off of, I think it was Last of the Mohicans that he had just done before this. That was like an Oscar darling, right? And then like. So, but like that's why he was able to. He actually wrote a novel sequel, which now I really want to read.
Really,
having rewatched, he wrote a novel sequel. It's called Heat 2.
So it just came out not that long ago, right? It's like
it's just like last year, year 2, something like that.
Yeah. I was gonna make a joke that just reminded me because there's a Sandra Bullock, Melissa McCarthy movie called The Heat. And I was going to start up like, wait. I don't know if I watched the same movie. You guys are talking about Sandra Bullock.
All right, let's talk about the themes of the movie. This movie has a lot that it's talking about and a lot that anybody can pick up from it. Jelani, what's Heat speaking to you?
It's about loss. Everything costs something. It's going to. On both sides. You have Al Pacino. He's losing his wife and his stepdaughter. Slowly over time, just because of the job he has, because of the things he's doing, the criminals he has to like suffer through, and the babies he's got to get out of microwaves. So it's a lot of things that's going on with him. And on the same side, you have De Niro, who can't get a proper crew together, who one of his crew members is a murderer. He still just wants to do scores. He wants the life that he's a career criminal, but at the same time he wants to keep doing it, but it won't allow him to do it because it's slowly, the heat is on me, and he's like, every 30 seconds I have to leave at any moment, you know what I'm saying, and it's over. And that's, I hate that he lost his love, but he did it to himself just because he wanted to get that guy. And it's about loss. It's about losing things that you love. The energy, attention, and time that you lose in the professions that you take. It's just that loss because you're gonna have that cost come in your life. It just gonna happen. It happens with everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said, Jelani. What about you, Brooks? What's this movie speaking to you?
Well, like, a lot of, like, when I watch a lot of these like crime dramas and cops, like the theme that like these days, like, really stands out, especially in this movie, is like you've got the cops and the criminals, but it's this system that's set up, that kind of like creates both of these, like, these archetypes and makes them necessary. Like, like a guy like De Niro, he does crime because, it's an easy way to make a lot of money. And it feels like, if he could make as much money doing crime as doing a legitimate business, he would probably be doing that. But, we live, like, it's kind of like inherent in our system that, there's only a few spots at the top. So guys like, De Niro, like, they're smart enough to do it, but, they can't do it legitimately because, those spots aren't for them. So that's how we get this, this economy of crime, and, it draws in like all kinds of people, like, like I said, a Kilmer, he feels like kind of a guy who was maybe ex-military, like felt, he didn't get as much from his service as he should have. And, probably just like, is just addicted to the thrill of, shooting. And like Pacino too, like Pacino's like, he's like, the system has failed him too. Like, despite the fact that, he does this job is very important. Like it's wrecking his life. It's become an obsession to him. Just like how De Niro, his is like they feel so defined by these roles that they have. The cop and the robber. That it feels like they don't feel like there's any other way. They can live their lives. And it's like the system like draws in all kinds of people and like it affects their lives in all these different ways. And some people are more affected by it than others, but it does ripple out to all of us. We all end up eventually feeling the effects of this. Like if you're just like walking to work one day and all of a sudden a bunch of fucking cops just start shooting fucking automatic weapons all over the fucking place. That's not a great thing to happen. But we've kind of just come to accept, that sometimes that's just going to happen because people want to do crimes to get money because you got to get money, and it's like it's just a lot of these kind of movies are very much feel like a critique of a system in which crime feels like it's so incentivized in a way, and like it feels like a lot of like
glamorized.
A lot of like the successful people in this world are just criminals who have somehow like made it, and these days that feels particularly true, I guess you could say.
All right, I can dig that. Verno, what's this movie putting down that you're picking up?
Let me see what Dino says. To me, Heat was the destructive nature of obsessive career-driven lives, highlighting the conflict between intense professional pursuit and personal connections, loneliness, and the inability to change. That's from my heart. That's how I feel.
I would 100% agree with that.
No, he's spot on. He really is. He's spot on. I mean, it's like simply, it's like working so hard or having to scratch that itch so bad that you're gonna fucking find Natalie Portman in a bathtub eventually. You know what I mean? Losing track of what's important, or not even what's important, because I think what's important to Pacino and De Niro is what they're doing more so than what they could be doing. You know what I mean? That's why, like, I think De Niro, they could flip spots. They just need something to be going after because they're that type of people. They're that type of dude. And everyone's got some of that in them, but some of them, we need people like that not on both sides, but we do need people like Pacino that are just obsessive and will let everything go by the wayside. But that's pretty much what it is. It's what is important to them is what they're doing. Like when De Niro said, he says it. He's like, I don't really want to be doing anything else. And Pacino says it. Like if they flip spots, they'd be just as happy or unhappy. But either way, they're never going to be happy. Two people like that, like they're better off not having a family, not having anyone around them. There's nothing that's ever going to fix it. That's kind of what Pacino tells his wife at the end.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Right? What ex-wife, wife, I'm not sure. But or I don't know if they're married is what I'm saying. But yeah, that's pretty much what it is to me. It's working so hard you're going to lose your family, kind of. Yeah,
that's the tragic nature of the story, is that he's not going to change, right? He's like, because this is who he is, and that's what he says, I'm only what I'm chasing after. right? And like, yeah, that's a something. It's a dangerous side of the ambitious nature of certain professionals, especially. What about you, Stu? What you digging about this one?
Yeah, I think it's definitely about all those things you guys talked about before. For me, it's both these title characters shares so many similarities, but I think at the end of the day, Pacino gets away with it a little bit more because he's on the right side of the law, and I think ultimately, De Niro, deciding to break all the rules and all the codes that he set up for himself in his life, right? He gets attached to somebody and then goes back for revenge on Wayne. Two things which I think if he does that, he can get away. He doesn't have to get caught. But I think those two fatal flaws and also Pacino, like Vern said, kind of coming to the realization towards at the hospital. Dude, one of my favorite scenes is him leaving Justine in the hospital and that giddy way he runs down the steps, like just leaving Natalie Portman. But he's running down the steps like a 5-year-old boy, like off to, fight the bad guys. It's just incredible acting by Pacino. He looks so excited to leave, and it's just so wild after the weight of the scene before that. But that to me is what it's all about, right there in that moment. I think it's, he's got a little bit more self-awareness and room to grow because he's on the right side of the law, but in the end, there's very, very little separating these two men. So I think it's all about. I don't know how to sum it up. Generally, it's all about, I guess, realizing who you are, and if you're going to stick to the code, stick to the code, but don't go back and put 3 in Wayne Grove, man. I mean, I know he deserved it, but bro, you were right there at LAX. You were going.
Get out, man.
Bro.
Absolutely. All right. Nicely put. Joe, what about you, man? What's this movie speaking to you?
Yeah, I mean, obviously everyone, more or less hit on some of the bigger points. I think what I love about this movie is, like the first time you watch it, it's this like tragic story. And then after that, you eventually realize that was a happy ending.
Mm-hmm.
That was their happy ending. They got exactly what they wanted. They were unwavering in that. Pacino and De Niro at no point ever betray themselves. They hesitate. They have, they veer off, but they always find who they are in the end for themselves. And the only tragedy is how it affects the people in their lives.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But beyond that, they are living their best lives. And that is them having both of those characters in that movie are at the happiest they might ever be.
Huh. Very interesting perspective. I didn't really think about it that way, but you're right, dude. You're 100% right, dude. Even when De Niro, when Macaulay makes that choice to go after Wayne Grove, he's not betraying himself, right?
Yep.
Like But at the same time, there are elements where they're like, they know the heat's there. No, but even at the end, man, he doesn't betray himself. He goes.
Yeah.
He takes off, man.
I like all those.
Right.
I like that, and I like that moment when he's in the car with John Voight, and John Voight's giving him the rundown on Hannah, right? And he's like, he's a fan of yours. Talks about how much he likes you, and Robert De Niro starts smiling. And he's like, "Oh, you think this is funny?" He's like, why do you think this guy's been divorced 3 times? Like he doesn't, he's out on the job all the time. Like I love he's trying to warn him and stuff like that. There's that little like unspoken kinship, like even outside of the coffee shop between them.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, what I wrote down was similar to what Dynamite said, but I mean, I wrote the loneliness and isolation of obsession and identity through your profession, the downfall of an ambitious nature, refusal of growth through change, right? Like, they don't want to change. Al Pacino doesn't want to change. He wants to be this. He wants to stay in this zone. He does care about his family. He does want it to work, but he knows it won't work. And that's why I don't think he really puts up much of a fight. He has way more fight when he's going after Macaulay and the crew than he does when he's dealing with his marriage that's falling apart. He's resigned to it already at the beginning of the film, pretty much. Robert De Niro thinks that maybe like Macaulay maybe I have a chance, right? But like because he doesn't betray his nature, like Joe was saying, it leads to his downfall. It's got so much in there, man. And I love that Chris, Val Kilmer's character, kind of gets away, but he is still very much affected. Won't get to see his son anymore. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like is he
in the book? I gotta know.
I don't know. Maybe he
is.
is.
That would be a great part too, dude. Dominic.
I think we all got a book.
Now we got to read
book club.
Yeah, action book club.
But yeah,
I saw somebody say Dominic and Natalie Portman as like the next generation of in the Heat story.
I'm there.
But absolutely, all right. I think it's a great film with a lot of material to pull from for whatever reason, whether it's style, structure, theme, music, cast, its performances. It's just such a brilliant film. Now it's time to rate this thing. You out there in the chat, out of 5 possible you digs, what do you rate Heat? Jelani, kick us off here on the panel.
It's a 5.
You got a big 5.
Big 5. It's a big old 5.
Hell yeah. Makes sense. Perfect score. What about you, Brooks? What you sitting on?
Yeah, I give this one a 5 too. This movie, it feels to me like how Black Christmas feels to like slasher movies, to like crime dramas. You know, I think it's a good example of that kind of movie done like just about as perfect as you can do it. You know, like the characters are great, and you know, I like how it kind of blurs the line between like criminals and cops too. You know, when you watch this movie, like the cops do a lot of crooked shit in this movie. You know, but you know, you're kind of expected just to kind of forget about it, you know, because you know they're the good guys. But yeah, like you know, it is like you know, it's probably one of the most interesting crime dramas I've ever seen. Like you know, just a masterclass, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. 2 for 2 right now with the 5s. What about you, Verno?
Right there, man. Got to do it. Got to be a 5. One of the best movies that I've seen in a long time, and I said this when we talked Stranger Things. I don't know if it was as true to that. I said we were lucky to be alive during this run. Maybe that's true. Maybe it's not. But we're definitely lucky that we lived through Pacino, De Niro, because that shit's fucking over. You know what I mean? Who are those two actors that, oh my God, they're going to be in a movie together that have that much just like raw talent and just like the look of them. Like there's something about just like the way that their faces look is insane. Not handsome men, but some of the best actors that have ever walked the planet. So it's amazing, man. It's such a fucking badass movie. So a 5 all day long. And what's so funny is I've seen so many of those scenes from Pacino. And that, like, I just thought I'd seen the movie, and then I'm like, oh shit, they're all in this movie. He was so wild and unhinged. Just, I like had like a smile on my face, like so much of the movie. Like every time he's on screen, you just can't help but be like, he's so unpredictable. You don't know what word is gonna get really fucking loud. And one of my favorites that we have is "Don't waste my motherfucking time." It's insane. I love it.
He's so great in this movie, man.
I love when he tells Tone Loc, "What do you want, a junior G-man badge or something?"
Also when he starts singing to the guy in that scene.
Oh yeah.
Like, the actor's like, what the fuck is he doing? Like he's crazy.
You're gonna be that too.
3 5s in a row so far. What about you, Stu?
Oh man, easy 5. One of the best movies of all time. One of my favorite movies. Since I have the opportunity, before we get out of here, I gotta highlight one last performance. I want to shout out Tom Noonan in the wheelchair as Kelso, the guy who brought the big bank score to De Niro. I loved him. They just beam this information out there all over the place, man. You just gotta know how to grab it.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Manhunt.
Early days of the internet, like I love the wheelchair bound genius who put the score together, brought in all the schematics and everything like that. And they would have, man, if it wasn't for fucking Roger Van Zant, he would have got got away with it, dude. They had all their bases covered.
So you got him in here from Manhunter. Don't you also have Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs? Isn't he like
You
one of the
sure
police
do.
guys?
He's the
Yeah.
guy
They
that-
wanted him. Didn't they want him to be Wayne? I think they wanted him to be Wayne Grow at first, but he was like, "No, I want to be the."
He
I wanna
seems
be
like the
police.
guy that played Wayne Grows like his brother or cousin or something,
Yeah.
man. They kind of have
Yeah.
that same kind of like
Who is he?
sleazy ass look. He's one of the dudes. He gets shot outside of the bank, like during the heist.
Ted
with-
Levine.
has
Yeah,
the
he
best
gets.
face. He has
Yeah,
the
he gets
best
shot in the
face
neck.
ever.
He does. He's just
He's
like.
This is
Oh,
the second
Oh,
time in a row
God,
we've,
yeah, it's
we've
We
so
know you
watched
good.
the
died.
Ted Levine movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
he's the cop that goes down.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he looks great.
And
There's
then,
something
like-
about like the way that dead people look in this movie. Like between him and Danny Trejo laying there, like they really,
Dude.
yeah, they look
He
neat.
did it.
They nailed it.
Yeah. Joe, what about you? We got 5s across the board so far.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's a 5. It's one of the best movies from one of the best directors. Like it would be like, this is the kind of movie that you wouldn't think was out of place in a like top 100 movies of all time kind of list. Like you would be like, oh, like you wouldn't, you know, like, yeah, it's 5.
Yeah, it's a 5. I agree, 5. So 5 across the board. I mean, it's same reason. I mean, it's everything we've said. If somebody came in here and was like, "Yeah, after everything you just said, 3.5," like get the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like
I mean, there's not that you can't. It's hard to find a flaw. My biggest flaw, if I were to have a gripe, it would be the love connection between De Niro and Edie could be a little bit stronger. You know what I mean? Like that could
Sure.
I could feel that a little bit more. Other than that, I'd say it's almost perfect.
but you're feeling it at the end.
Right.
But I don't know, man. But if I could pick one thing, is the green screen scene that Vigilante pointed out. You're right. Like when I'm watching it, I'm like, oh.
It
And
puts
in
you
the
up.
commentary, Michael Mann's talking about it. He's like, yeah, we had to. I'm like, man, that's crazy. You couldn't light these motherfuckers like on a hill, or maybe they did light it, or I don't remember, but something like that. So anyway, perfect scores across the board. 5s from the chat. Heat is awesome. And if for some reason you've made an hour and a half into the show and you haven't seen Heat, good luck with your life, I guess. I don't know what the fuck to tell you. All right. Thus concludes our movie review of Heat. We'll be back next week for PCP Movie Night at 8 p.m. Central Time to talk about The Running Man, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's right. It's based on the Stephen King, a.k.a. Richard Bachman story, The Running Man. We are not talking about the new Edgar Wright film, which I've already posted a review about. After watching that movie, it made me really want to go back and rewatch the original. This one is sponsored by somebody. They sent it to me a couple years ago. Very excited to finally cover it here on the channel. The Running Man next week. Jelani, thank you for being here. Tell everybody what you got going on.
Yeah. I was glad to do this discussion, man. Heat's an amazing film. One of my favorite action films of all freaking time. You know, and the waves were brilliant in this film as well. You know, Brooks and I do this thing called Go Figure Reviews, and we don't have any videos right now because we just did our best of 2025. We just got our 800 subscribers.
Nice.
I'm still working on getting the channel the way I want it, but right now we got a new logo, and I know Robbie like disappeared, but he has the logo on it. So, you know, Go Figure Reviews, check us out. You know, stuff.
Hells yeah.
Oh yeah, this is that's what we're doing.
Nice, man.
Yeah, so
Y'all got a glow up, man. Look at all you guys.
Yeah, we're all doing. Yeah, it's
you guys are all getting laid.
Me and Brooks and Huggy from Huggy Bear's Toy Shop, and Tony and Robbie. We're branching out. We might be doing some podcasts and some things, but AI made me do this, and I liked it. So we're gonna keep going forward with it. Hope you like it too. This is our new logo for Go Figure Reviews. Enjoy.
You said AI made you do that, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I was
Like
Sometimes
Robert
in the
Patrick
middle
showed
of
up
the
at
night.
your fucking house.
Hey,
It was
bitch.
like,
It was like the finger.
You were drinking milk.
Yep.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
get canceled, guys.
It's happening.
Brooks,
It's a thing.
thank you so much for being here. You're right, Jeff. That's the quote of the year so far, man.
AI made me do it. Oh shit!
We got to
I'm gonna
get
start
that
using
T-shirt on the
that.
site, man. Somebody write that
Oh
down.
yeah.
Yep.
T-shirt on
Trademark
the
that
site.
shit.
Brooks,
Trademark
final
that shit.
thoughts, man.
Yeah, like I would never use AI. You know, that's just me. But you know, like to me, AI is like the heat, man. When I see it coming, I gotta go. You know what I'm saying?
30 seconds or
30
less.
seconds.
Fuck yeah.
All right, nicely put. Verno from
I
Blood
did.
Splatter Chatter, man. I know you got some exciting things coming up. Why don't you tell me?
Yeah, baby. We're kicking off our Stabathon this Thursday. We've already covered Scream 1 and Scream 2, but from here until Scream 7 releases on February 27th, we're doing a Scream movie every other week, starting with Scream 3. Everybody's favorite. Scream 3. We'll be deep diving Courtney Cox's bangs.
Yeah,
So
that's
be
my
there.
favorite part of this thumbnail, bro.
Be there for that Blood Splatter Chatter. And then I'm just putting the word out now, man. We are a month away. We're a month and 1 day away from another Friday the 13th. We have 2 of them this year, and they're in back-to-back months, February and March. It's my absolute favorite shows to do. We get together. Robbie's been there for each one of them. We gather every Friday the 13th, watch a new one. We're almost halfway through. This is the 5th one, and we will be playing some trivia and giving away that mask that you see right there
Is
in
that the
bottom
Roy
left,
mask?
left corner. That's the Roy mask, baby. That's the Roy
Nice.
mask. So
I
excited
really
for it.
like 5.
Robbie
I do
loves
too.
it.
I love 5. I've been
I think
waiting
5's
for this
great.
shit, man. Ask Verno, man.
Yes.
I'm waiting for this shit. dude.
People shit on 5, and I think it's really good.
I think it's one of the best ones, man. I do.
I
really do.
agree.
I think it's better than Final Chapter, man. That's what gets me in
I-
trouble in the horror community.
I think you're right, though.
Yeah,
Damn.
I
telling you,
can't
man.
wait. I can't wait. It's gonna be a fun one.
It's like Jurassic Park 5, man. It's better than people think. You know?
It is. It is.
Hell yeah, Verno. Very excited for that. Very excited for your Stabathon. I love that, man. I'm so
That's-
pumped for Scream 7, man.
Best part about Stabathon is that Stu hasn't seen any of them from here on out. So
Yeah,
I love
I'm
that. We're gonna
excited.
have someone on the panel that doesn't know who the killer is for each one of them. So that'll be fun. That adds a lot to it. I think.
Nice. Very cool. Yeah, you definitely want to get through these then before you watch the new one.
For
Speaking
sure.
of you, Stu, what you got going on, man?
Yeah, like Vern said, catch me Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern on Blood Splatter Chatter for Scream 3, and then every Wednesday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern for Get Insights. Me and my boy 9 Panel Grid talking about our favorite new releases from Marvel, DC, Image, and the Indies. The previous week was a garbage one in terms of new releases, so we talked about some of our favorite single issues of 2025. So check out that last episode. But other than that, yeah, Dr. Doom's Fan Club on IG and YouTube. And thanks for having me, fellas, for an all-timer.
Hell yeah, an all-timer. How about
Hell
you,
yeah.
Joe? Thank you so much for being here as usual. Final thoughts. What you got coming up?
Thanks for having me. I have a story in Horror Not Hate, which is on Kickstarter right now. It's an anthology. Check it out. We're about like halfway to that goal. So yeah, I'm really happy with the story I put in there, and Ben Kahn, Rich Duick, a bunch of other people have stories in there. So yeah, check that out. And I should have more things soon that I can talk about. I just can't talk about them yet. And I am currently binge reading the Stan and Jack run on Thor. So if you want to read what Joe's reading, check that out.
Oh, very cool, man. That's a good run to read, man. Good
Yeah,
fun
I'm
stuff.
I'm on the second omnibus right now.
Oh,
I have
how's the
all three
mapping on that?
omnibuses.
How's the
The
mapping?
mapping's great. I love the mapping. The paper weight is
Ooh.
very good. Look at
You
the
can tell from the
eye.
sound.
It's got a nice
How does it smell?
eye. See that?
Oh, the smell is the most important part. You could legit
the
tell from the
smell
way
is
those
great.
pages sounded that they were quality. No
Yeah,
bullshit
no,
at all.
this is great. But yeah, it's a great run of Thor. I know there are some people out there that think Stan and Jack stuff is unreadable in 2026. So apparently I have been reading unreadable stuff recently, according to some people. So that's fine.
Impressive.
All right. Well, thank you all for joining us. Do remember, next week, we're going to be talking about The Running Man here on PCP Movie Night. Go find all of these fine fellows' works and channels and everything they do. And you can become a member of our channel right now and get access to early content like my Marvel in the 90s, where I'm going through issue by issue Extinction Agenda. I actually did it in early 2023,
Nice.
but they're now being clipped out and put out. The first one is available for everyone, but episodes 2, 3, and then as of tonight, 4 are available for members. They will eventually be released to everybody. Also, out there for members only right now is my reaction after reading Lord of the Rings for the first time. So I got really nerdy and I just wanted to fucking just go off. And so that's what I did.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, check that out. Anyway, we are dipping out. We love you guys so much. Station, pop, pop, boom. And I was going to do like that Al Pacino big ass or, great ass thing, but like Chelani's already done it. So I guess for my final thought, I'm just going to say, I don't know. I'm Batman.